This is the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Today I'm at Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey to see just how good this vehicle is when it's pushed to the limit. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 is one of my favorite all-electric hatchbacks. It has a really cool neo-retro style with a large and comfortable interior and a powerful dual-motor all-wheel drive system. Take all that good stuff already in the Ioniq 5, add even more power, and you get this, the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N. As the first performance electric to carry the High Performance N badge, Hyundai has gone a lot further than simply adding more power. The entire vehicle has been tweaked for better handling, acceleration, and braking. Like the standard Ioniq, the N has a dual motor setup, but these motors produce more power. The one in the back produces a peak 378 horsepower. In the front, 223. Altogether, that's 601 horsepower. And like the standard Ioniq, there is a boost mode here, which will give you up to 641 horsepower for 10 seconds. It's really a passing button, or when you're hitting those straightaways. And yeah, we are going to try it on the straightaway here at Laguna Seca. The 84 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack can be charged from 10 to 80% in only 10 minutes on a DC fast charger. The battery also gives more power to the motors to allow for this sustained level of performance to become possible. Given all these numbers, the pricing isn't bad. You're looking at $67,475 US, including destination, when it hits dealers in the coming months. There is only one configuration, and it is fully loaded. If you're going to compare this versus the standard Ioniq 5, you're looking at about a $9,000 premium. Under the skin of this track-oriented edition are additional welds and adhesives to make this Ioniq even more rigid than the standard production model. The drive axles and throttle controls are similar to what you'd find in Hyundai's World Rally Championship cars. The steering rack even has a quicker ratio and better feedback. To make all these performance enhancements accessible to drivers that haven't run, let alone won, any World Rally Championship rounds, they have incorporated a number of programs that will help you bring out your inner Sebastian Loeb. First, there's the N-Drift Optimizer with integrated torque kick drift, pushes torque to the back to set angle and hold it all the way through a corner. Front and rear torque distribution can be shifted with a simple push of a button. There are 11 settings in total. Meanwhile, the electronic rear LSD helps keep side-to-side power distribution under control. Is this starting to sound a little bit like an all-electric Subaru STI? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Subaru, you better be paying attention. For a track day like today, one of the biggest concerns with an electric car is thermal management. Here, Hyundai has answered with a revised battery cooling system designed around track use. You can even set what type of track day you're going to have with endurance and sprint settings. Of course, if they really wanted to target enthusiasts, they should probably have also added, I just want to get around the track without crashing mode. But yeah, I guess that's on me. Electric cars are heavier than their combustion counterparts. On the track, that means extra stress on the brakes. So on the front, the Ioniq 5N has massive 15.75-inch ventilated discs with 4-pot calipers. In the back, 14.2-inch discs with single pots. The regen system has also been recalibrated for better pedal feel. And fun fact, the regen system alone can generate up to 0.6 Gs of force. That helps reduce brake fade as well as heat. The tires are a special P0 developed by Pirelli just for this car in a 275/35 R21 fitment. And yeah, I kind of dig the forged wheels. To better understand what's going on with the powertrain while sitting behind the wheel at speed, there is a new E-Shift system and sound effects package. On the outside, the Ioniq 5N does have some unique details to help differentiate it over the standard model. It's lower, wider, and longer. Ground clearance drops from 6.1 inches to 5.6 inches. It has a big wing, special badging, a new front fascia with active air intakes. Inside, there is more N pageantry with special stitching and upgraded seats that are placed lower in the cabin. It also has revised pedals, knee and shin support, as well as a revised footrest. Of course, they've also modified the gauge cluster to make it more appropriate for track days. With all of those details out of the way, it's time to finally put this on the track at one of my favorite raceways in the world, Laguna Seca. Right. Of course, this is an actual Hyundai press event, so there are requirements. First off, I have to wear a helmet. These don't look good on anyone, but it's what we got. Have to have the window down, so I'm gonna hope that the sound comes through okay. If there's a little buffeting, sorry, I got a fluffy on, it's the best I can do. Third, I only get a few laps, so let's see what we can do with this. Now let's talk about the settings that we have here. I'm in race mode. Right now I'm in endurance, which is for the longer racing, so it's going to manage its heat and power in a different way than if I was in sprint mode, although I will try to get into sprint mode near the end. Now there is a big orange button here called NGB. That is the N-Grin button, which basically adds that extra horsepower for 10 seconds. We're going to try to use that on a straightaway, again, a little bit later. Now I'm going to talk about these seats. They are super comfortable. This is like a racing bucket, but it's not awkward in any way. I'm 6'1", legs torso proportionate. I weigh about 220, maybe 215, and I fit great. I mean, this actually fits really good. Now the steering wheel here feels really nice, and there are paddle shifters. Now, typically with an electric car, the paddle shifters just vary the amount of regen. But with this car, you can actually go into a mode where it will simulate shifts. And we're gonna try that in a little bit. Does this helmet make my head look big? Got it in place for my phone to go here. Hopefully that doesn't fall out. Now you will hear that there are sound effects here. Actually, we have all sorts of different things here. I'm in race mode. There's torque distribution. Right now we are shifted a little bit to the back, which is the default torque distribution setup, because of course there's more horsepower in the rear electric motor. And that is where I really think that this vehicle kind of seems, on paper at least, like a new gen Subaru STI. You know, it has that power shift. It's a hatchback. It's got all-wheel drive. I mean, Subaru, come on, build one of these. So first we're gonna do a siding lap. I do have a lot of experience on this track over the years, but it's been a couple years since I've been here. They've also repaved it recently. So, you know, I don't wanna get in over my head too quickly. So the pro driver leading me is Rob Shute. He is a professional race driver, and I'm expecting that he will only go as fast as I can push him. So let's see. It's gonna be fun. Now we're gonna get a few different sessions here. I'm not gonna give you like complete laps. We're gonna kind of edit this together. So don't try to follow me around the track, because that's not what we're doing here. We're seeing what this vehicle does when pushed to the limit, but not all the way to the limit, because this is a racetrack and bad things happen. So I am in race mode. The sound effects are pretty cool. Okay, so right off the bat, it feels a little soft. I'm not getting like that jarring that you would normally get in a race-tuned vehicle, but we'll see how much roll we get when it comes to the corners here. Gonna go into corner 2. This is just a siding lap. It's so weird doing an electric car. Now I don't have the simulated gear shifts on yet, so it really is just a matter of hitting that throttle and whoa, there's power there. Ha! Nice. Oh my gosh, that power! Ha! Oh my gosh, this thing is so cool. Okay, coming up to the corkscrew. Forgot how much I love this track. It's been too long. Brakes. Now it is interesting that I can feel a regen there, definitely. I'm also definitely going to be feeling for like, what does the car do? Is it going to start getting a little lethargic over time? Are the brakes going to get muddy? Or can it continue holding us? Now, the fact is that the regen causes 0.6 G's worth of braking, which is pretty impressive. Okay, we're going into turn 11 here onto the straightaway, and this is where we start to go quick. And I'm early on the apex, as usual. Need to fix that. Okay, let's do this. Ah-ha! Turn 1, go wide. Oh yeah, so fun. Oh, we're gonna do that, huh? Okay, sure. Got to be smooth on that throttle because there's so much horsepower here. We don't want to kick things weird. Oh, that power, I can feel it going to the back. Now, I'm not messing with the torque distribution simply because I am not used to this car enough to do that yet. Woo! Woo! Holy moly, this thing is fun. Slam those brakes on, get ready for the climb. I can go a little faster. I have to admit, I am scared of the horsepower here. I'm comfortable on Laguna Seca in about 300-400 horsepower. That is where my comfort level lies. Add another couple hundred on top of that, yeah, I get real nervous. Woohoo! Okay, so the steering feels really good. The old Ioniq, the steering just wasn't the best. It was not something I loved. But this one, they've dialed it in, and part of that is, adopting that WRC technology into a production car. Now, obviously, this isn't a WRC car, but they've taken what they've learned from racing and applied it to a very fast production car. And whoo boy, go wide, go in there, throttle out, boom, oh yeah! Full throttle, under the bridge, 112, 114, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Little skittish there, oh yeah! I was probably about $120 there maybe by the time I chickened out. It really does make you feel like a rock star. You just have so much power, so much control. Yes, you can get in over your head, but it does a good job of keeping things on the level here. We have launch control, we have exhaust sound, sport, steering, suspension. Everything here is set for Sport Plus right now, except traction control, which is set for Sport because we don't want to get in over our heads at too high of a speed. So Sprint, full power. Like I needed more power in this car. Now, the funny thing is that this will actually hold the gear up to redline and not release it. So it's kind of has the pluses of feeling like a traditional petrol-based powertrain, but it's electric, so it's all fake. But it still gives you the downsides of a petrol engine hitting redline, which is kind of funny. That fake downshift is hilarious. Whoa, hello. Oh man. This thing just turned absurdity to 11. Yeah. Woo! Instant power! Ooh, yeah. So the one thing I do want to talk about more here is the suspension on this vehicle. It is adaptive and it is constantly calculating the best amount of rebound and pressure and all that stuff. And it does it to make the vehicle feel much lighter than it is. If you turned all that off, this thing would feel like driving a normal crossover. But because it has all this active tech to keep the suspension light, but the turn-in positive, and it just feels like a much lighter, much more balanced car than it has any right to be. Ah! Whoa! Come on, brakes. Yeah, I don't like that regen on the feeling. Now that's just me. Will I get used to it? Possibly, but I'm not used to it yet. Oh, come on. Okay, go back into the straightaway here. Let's hit NGB and let's do it. What? Yeah! Okay, that is nuts. Oh, man. It's lagging, it's bogging because I hit the fake red line. That's funny. So I gotta admit, Hyundai, they've done it. This is an amazing car. I mean, you can take it lapping on the weekends, yet during the week, it's a perfectly sensible family car. Man, this is so cool. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douth, and thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. Make them for you. Hope you enjoy them. I definitely had a heck of a time making this one. Woo.